Britain needs all the tax pounds it can get. You know, we're in very tough times. That's clear to everybody. People don't realise just quite how indebted the country is and what trouble the country's undergoing. And we cannot afford people taking tax bucks away from us. They have to be paid. I didn't pay them just purely out of a sense of obligation. I paid because A, I did think it was right, but B, I just wanted complete freedom in a country I love more than any other. I didn't want to have to be in exile and only be allowed 90 days back in. I wanted the complete freedom. But I also just did feel I needed to do my bit.
Do you see it as a kind of philanthropy?
Yes, a kind of philanthropy, but unfortunately, where the people you're giving your money to fritter it away and throw it away and waste it. So it feels like a mug's philanthropy, but equally it's a legal obligation.
Is there a duty to pay full tax, even if the law allows for loopholes?
Do you know, the problem is that any businessman needs to reduce his costs. And by reducing costs, increasing profit, you retain money in the business, which is then being able to be used for expansion. Tax is one of those big costs on the business. So it's the responsibility of the chief executive to reduce the tax to a reasonable level by fair means.
Is it wrong then to use those loopholes?
Oh, this is a difficult one, really. I can't say it's wrong to use them because at the end of the day, each company has to reduce its tax bill to what it thinks is appropriate and fair given the laws of the land. But I would very much favour more pressure brought to bear on people that are seen to be really taking this too far. And also the general public just considering boycotting businesses that are seen to be tax avoiding. And I can tell you for sure, if the public boycotted a retail business that was avoiding tax and damaged their profitability, they'd start paying the tax.
So it's a name and shame campaign.
It really is a name and shame, and I think it has to be today. I think you know, the country is in a mess. I don't want to keep stressing that, but Britain needs all the tax pounds it can get.
We know who the companies are that have been named as not full taxpayers. Do you boycott any of those?
I don't probably deal with them, and if I do, I don't know that I'm dealing with them. But I would definitely boycott them, and I would encourage other people, because we have to do something. And what does any businessman understand? He understands his bottom line. And what will affect the bottom line more than anything else is not taxation. Fair taxation, yes, it's painful. It's a big cost to the business, but it's nowhere near as big a cost as not having the profit to pay the tax on.
You've been converted to this line of thought because there was a time in your business when you did use the loopholes quite happily.
Absolutely.
Didn't you?
You know, when I first set up the business, I wanted to retain every last pound of the business to help grow it. Tax accountants started flooding through the doors with tax scheme after tax scheme after tax scheme. And we were seduced into a low taxation regime of running the business, which was perfectly fair and proper. But I don't agree with it now. As a point of morality, especially where we are in Britain today, I don't agree that some parts of the nation should get away with very, very low tax rates. Meanwhile, the ordinary working people, as well as some corporates, are paying the full rate. We need to club together.
But wasn't it legislation that actually stopped you? Wasn't it when Gordon Brown put an end to those employee benefit trusts?
No, not really, because I was already thinking, you know, these tax schemes are just wrong. And they're challengeable, you know, to an extent, some of them are perfectly fair and proper, but a lot of them are leading edge and cutting edge, and some of those can be stopped, but some are not stopped. But the law can only do so much. So then what we need to create in the country, a bit like speeding, you know, at one time I could speed every day and nobody would frown. Now... It's
a good line at Brands Hatcher, isn't it?
Yeah. Now, whenever I speed, I'll try not to, you know, whenever I speed, you're frowned upon. And we need to do that with taxation, that it becomes immoral, unethical and against the public interest for certain sectors to get away with paying very low tax.